station today from Energy Expert.
Right. So today we're going to be talking about the inverter, which is a component of a solar system that is at the center of the entire system. So why do we need an inverter? Right. In the house or at the workplace, most of our appliances are AC in nature. In other words, they do require AC power, alternating current. However, the power that we get from the solar panels and from the batteries is DC in nature. So we need a power interface that converts that DC power that is stored in the battery or that DC power that is coming from the panels to AC that is utilized by our appliances. That is, in simple terms, the function of the inverter. Right. So what we need to know is what size of inverter do we need and for what loads. Right. So before you decide on what size of the inverter to buy, you would have to understand, like we discussed previously, you need to go through energy demand of your house or energy audit. You want to know how much is the maximum power that you require. So that would determine the size of the inverter that you would then require. These inverters, because of recent technologies, they are now sophisticated in nature. They are hybrid in nature. In other words, they are coming with the functions that previously were coming as independent modules, like the charge controller. We now see that the inverter will come with a charge controller, an MPPT. The inverter will also come with a bypass facility that will help to act as an automated transfer switch or changeover switch that is inside the inverter, right? They are also coming with sophisticated protection systems that in the event that on the downstream circuits there is a fault, these inverters will isolate the fault so fast that no damage will happen to the inverter, or they come with the like overcurrent protection, over voltage protection, just as examples of protection systems that are coming nowadays on these recent technologies. So there are types of inverters that are mainly utilized. There is off-grid inverter, there is grid-tie inverter. The major difference between these two inverters is that the grid-tie inverter has got a functionality of being able to synchronize to the grid. In other words, these inverters can go in step or can supply power to the grid or can receive power from the grid, but they work on the basis that they have to synchronize to the grid by hence they only work when the grid is available. In other words, the signal from the grid frequency and voltage have to come to the control module of that inverter for it then to synchronize, and then it starts working. Right. These inverters are the ones that are also utilized in net metering and so forth. Then the other type is off-grid inverter. The off-grid inverter does not synchronize to the grid. It doesn't have that functionality. It is mainly designed to work independently from the grid. Right. These inverters can also have a battery backup port, or some can actually work without the battery backup, just to receive power from the panels, and then they can convert straight away to the AC load. But so how do you tell which inverter to get? From my experience, from our experience, we've seen that in the event that the grid is available most of the time, the reliability is so high, then the grid tie inverter would be ideal. Why? Because instead of buying a storage facility in the form of batteries that are expensive, you would then use the grid as the storage facility. In other words, you pump power during the day, excess power, you pump it into the grid, then the grid acts as your storage facility. Then during the night, when there is no radiation, or during such times when there is cloud or overcast and so forth, and there is little that the solar panels will be generating, you then draw the power that you would have stored into the grid to your house for utilization. But there are situations where the grid sometimes is not so reliable, or there is not enough capacity from the grid such that there is load shedding. Under those scenarios, definitely, for someone that is targeting reliability, then you would need to buy an off-grid inverter, which then allows you to use a storage facility, so that in the event that the grid is not available, you then use the power that would have stored in the battery. I think that's a brief overview of an inverter. We talked about a module that is inside, that is an MPPT. We will find time to talk about its functionality separately, because this MPPT can be found as a separate module, or it can be found inside a hybrid inverter. But for now, we can say that's all for today. Thank you very much, and continue watching our videos, continue subscribing to our channel, help us grow the channel. Thank you.
Book a free consultation today from Energy Expert.